Hi, I'm Ricardo.
Hi, I'm Franchesca.
Hi, I'm Shawn, and thank you for joining us for the Redox Movement. We're here to educate you on ASEA Redox and the benefits it can provide in protecting your health, and also to share a bit about entrepreneurship. Today, we're going to talk about how we talk about these molecules and share some of the ways in which we describe them for people. So we'll start with Ricardo. Take it away.
Awesome. Thank you, Shawn. So we wanted to do a video. We did the introduction. We did our live yesterday, but we wanted to really have a separate video explaining what these redox signaling molecules are, how they work in the body, why they're so impactful for protecting our health, and also supporting people that have a health challenge. So this is a bottle of ASEA Redox here. Now it comes with this 2-ounce cup. So just to show everybody what it looks like, I'm just going to drink some now. I think maybe we all are, because why not? I've had my 4 ounces this morning, but if I get a chance to have an opportunity to take them, I'll take it. So as you can see, it's nice and clear. It looks like water. It is not water. And so here we go. Oh, now when you drink it, you're supposed to hold it in your mouth at least 30 seconds because the molecules absorb in the water absorption channels. They help easier go to the brain and brain cells. So 30 seconds to a minute. I don't know if we're going to do that to save time, but
let's just do it as an example. Swish it around, use it like liquid floss through your gums, because it's really great for gums and any kind of issues that might be growing there as well. So we'll do it real time.
Cheers.
Cheers.
All right. Now I have something to admit, that I have not drinking it out of a cup in a very long time. And I didn't realize it until I actually did it. I was like, oh wait, I haven't drunk it out of a cup in a while, because I drink it this way. I don't put my mouth on the bottle. You don't supposed to put your mouth on the bottle.
Right.
Don't do that. But
explain why that's true though. Why don't you put your mouth on the
So you don't want to put your mouth on the bottle because your saliva can contaminate the molecules. The molecules are very reactive. So anything that is organic will activate the molecules and they will revert back to saline. So that's why you put it in a cup. So either a glass or plastic. You only want to drink it out of glass or plastic. So I typically just like that, just to save time. I can kind of guesstimate, my two ounces when I'm doing that, just to save time. So when I was drinking, I was like, oh wait, I haven't done this in a while. It feels different.
You'd be a perfect candidate for the 8-ounce pouch.
Yeah. I love the pouches. I love the pouches
too. I wish I brought one today to show, because it has a one-way valve, and you can just squeeze it right into your mouth and never worry about any kind of contamination, any kind of backflow. So and it's easy to travel with. Next time we get together, I'll bring the pouch.
So Shawn, did you want to go first explaining?
Sure. So I have 2 analogies that I think really convey in a really simplistic way about what these molecules, because you can get super complicated in terms of what's happening with the science of this. And I want to give proper attributions to these analogies to my very good friend, Pearl Bowen, who we'll be talking to later on, because she's going to share her amazing testimonial with us in the weeks to come. So Pearl has two analogies, and I'll share them both. So when asked about what are redox molecules, she'll say they are the traffic cops in the intersection directing cellular activity related to protecting, detecting, and repairing any damage if possible. But if the damage is too great, then these molecules help the body rid itself of the damaged cells. So traffic cops. And the other one is they're a charging cord to the cell to ensure optimal cellular communication. And that's the theme here, optimal cellular communication, which is often the missing link and the difference between wellness, health, being healthy looking and feeling younger, and being a better athlete and having optimal performance. So the charging cord to the cell to be able to provide optimal cellular communication. And then the one that Debbie Wetzler uses that I think is, and Debbie Wetzler, we've touched on her in the past. She's the person who brought these redox signaling molecules to the state of Maryland and to Canada, and to, she has a global enterprise that she's created. And we'll be hearing from Debbie later on in the weeks to come. And Debbie's says, you make these molecules in your body, and by virtue of that being true, they're native. So you can never be allergic to them. And their main function is to find damaged cells and to send a clear signal to the immune system to repair the damage. And that's what they do.
Perfect. Awesome. Thanks, Shawn. How about you, Franchesca?
I feel like Shawn's definition of the molecules is really thorough.
It was. I was thinking, okay, we can go home.
What I will say is that the molecules are basically a cell supplement. So our cells need supplementing in order to make sure that they are communicating efficiently and optimally, as Shawn said. So the molecules, the cell signaling molecule supplement that we're discussing, Redox, our body already has it. It's just that as we age, our body makes less of it. So our cells are able to communicate. And what the Redox molecules and ASEA do is they help those cells communicate better. So as we age, the signal gets weaker and weaker. And when we replace our body's fleeting redox molecules using ASEA Redox, the cells get the communication that there is something that needs to be replaced, there is something that needs to be helped or fixed. It basically makes sure that those cells are able to communicate so that the cells are optimal. And it's a bioreplenishment of our body's fleeting redox signaling molecules. That's the only thing that I can really share.
Awesome.
Awesome.
So I'll just maybe elaborate a little bit more, and I'll share a analogy that Alan Noble uses, which I feel like is great. And Alan Noble, none of us would know about this without Alan Noble, because he shared it with people, that shared it with somebody, that shared it with someone, that shared it with someone, and on and on. So Alan says, now if you think of the human body is the most complex communication system on the planet, and it's how we communicate, how it needs to communicate health, maintain a healthy balance, and communicate damage in the body, and detect it and repair and replace cells. And if there's any breakdown in that communication, our health can falter, or damaged cells can grow and replicate in the body. So, and if we think of our body as oh gosh, I'm completely blanking on the analogy. If a house, okay, no, here,
A house on fire.
Yeah, here we go. Thank you. If our house is on fire, right? They say our house is on fire, and that's our body, and we need to call the fire department. And we have a cell phone, and we don't have any signals on that cell phone, or on our cell phone. The bars are low. We can't communicate to the fire department, which is our immune system, the house is going to burn down. The flames are going to consume it, and that's that's our cellular communication. But if we can get that signal out to the fire department or our immune system, then it can come put the fire out. And as Franchesca mentioned, that communication as we age just slowly deteriorates and breaks down. So we're like, as we age, about 1% every year or 10% every decade, is just decreasing, growing in deficiency. But ASEA Redox, by supplementing daily, is boosting that communication in the body. And as they touch on, these molecules go in and help communicate to the immune system to detect, repair damage, call in the immune system for help. Because if you think about it, we get a cut on our hand or arm or wherever, we probably don't think about like, how does the body how to repair that damage, repair that tissue and close it. Well, a signal needs to go out to the immune system and neighboring cells to replicate new, healthier cells. And that's redox signaling molecules. And what makes ASEA so special, in my opinion, is its ability to, when you drink it, because it's native to the body, it's going to go in. The body is infinitely intelligent. So it's going to go in to detect the damage that's unique to you. And we all have damage all over our body that we don't know about, that we might not feel. So having a product that's native, that can go into a specific person and detect and repair damage that you maybe don't even know about before it manifests in a way that you do feel, is absolutely remarkable. There's nothing like that on the planet. And because it's native to the body, the body doesn't need to figure out what it is or what to do with it or how to absorb it or go through a digestive cycle. It's absorbed immediately in the body. So that's just a little bit about these amazing molecules.
That's a phenomenal way to explain that, Ricardo. I'm glad that you shared it in that perspective, because a lot of times aging is a process. You know what I mean? I mean, all of us were aging, and for the fact that we already have the molecules, but it's like each year, like you mentioned, each decade, we lose that, and it's a part of the aging process. But to be able to replenish our body, with these molecules that help us to live optimally, that help us to, internally heal our bodies from things that we're not even aware of sometimes. I mean, it's phenomenal that we're able to replenish our body with these molecules, on a day-to-day basis, just like we did. We took our shot of ASEA.
Yeah.
It's phenomenal that we can do that. Thank you. That's I'm glad that you shared it that way. Thank you.
I would just add one other thing too. What this also opens the door to understanding is that what we've been believing to be what aging looks like can now be turned on its head, because before we couldn't replenish these molecules. So there are just certain things that we just said, this is how it looks to age. This is how it looks to be depleted of these molecules. I mean, we didn't know the name of what we were talking about, but now we can push back the hands of time in so many ways in terms of how our body is able to continue to communicate at the cellular level in ways that it had just run out of the communication signal, and it wasn't clear anymore. And so things were starting to happen that would ordinarily have been addressed for any of us and for all of us. Yeah. That it goes to aging, that goes to disease states, it goes to athletic performance. So, we can create a whole new lease on life in so many different levels, and know that we're never harming ourselves. We're just improving ourselves.
Yeah, absolutely. And another way to think about it is these molecules kind of, they push the buttons for health in our body. So they kind of, they go out through the body, they're made in our cells, and they kind of go out. They do a lot of different things, and they go out and push the buttons that we need to maintain health in different aspects in the body. Immune system communication, detecting, repairing damaged cells, aging, just a lot, a lot. Do we want to touch on how these molecules are, why they're made from saline?
We can. It's totally up to you.
Yeah.
You want to touch on that, Shawn?
Well, because the saline is the foundational, I was going to say liquid in our body. I mean, that's what we're almost 80% to 90% saline. That's what our body is. That's what our cells move around in. That's what, the sort of the substance of life for us. And there are evolutionary reasons for that, how we came out of the ocean and, all of that kind of thing at the, the very, very, very beginning of time. So in the end, it may seem strange that we're talking about saline, but it's really what our cells are made of. It's the system that our cells function in. And, but again, these molecules that we're talking about go through a process that makes them no longer saline by the time we're drinking them from this bottle. And that's certified by a third party called Bioagilitics. So these molecules are in this liquid, they're certified to be such. And what's happened is that the saline has gone through a proprietary process. And we're going to post a look at the manufacturing plant where the ASEA is made. And it's certified by NSF, and it's got FDA validation in terms of the way in which it's run. So it meets all sorts of standards. And so by the time we're drinking these molecules, they are a balanced set of redox signaling molecules.
Yep. That
are coming from the mitochondria in our cells, going through the Krebs cycle, getting really biological now, but the Krebs cycle. And the Krebs cycle is how each cell powers itself and creates these byproducts that we now understand to be foundational to life, called redox signaling molecules, a contraction of the word reductant and oxidant. So RED and OX, redox. And so these molecules are now what our body completely recognizes, because our body already makes them, as we've said. And that is profound, because we use the term supplement, but really it's a bio-replenishment of what our body already makes, but loses over time because of aging, because of stress, because of environmental toxins. And Ricardo touched on the speed with which we're losing them. Starting at puberty, we start to lose them 10% per decade. So, if you're not replenishing them, by the time, I'm almost 70 years old, 66 years old, I'm down to maybe 30% of what I would ordinarily have if I wasn't replenishing them, depending on, what your lifespan is. Mm-hmm. But so, little wonder then, if these are critical for communication, how, if you're down to 30, 20, 10%, depending on how old you are and what's going on in your body, because your body under stress of disease, of exercise, there's eustress, there's, bad stress, but there's also good stress. All of it is stress, and all of it requires redox signaling molecules to keep the cell doing what it needs to do that, be that inner doctor that Ricardo was describing. And over time, if you lose that communication, then it begins to falter, and it can't do that protecting first, then detecting a problem, repairing the problem, and then if it can't repair the problem, it does something called apoptosis, which is cell suicide, and gets rid of the damaged cells so it can't multiply and create disease.
Yeah, thanks for sharing that, Shawn. And I know a lot of people might do a lot of things for their health, like a lot of nutritional supplements and herbs and oils, which are absolutely amazing. But this is very different than that. Those things are great. You should still do that. But this is adding um, something unique and very different than from what material. That's the material for the body. So the way to think about it is another good analogy that I've heard from Danielle Matthews is, if we have our body, say that's a construction project, say that's a building, and you need materials for that building. You need the glass and the brick and the mortar to put that building together, but you need workers. And think of the redox signaling molecules as the workers that the innate workers that come with that construction, that building. And over time, the workers, they kind of start quitting, right? So there's nothing, the material isn't necessarily getting placed and being utilized like that it needs to be. And by reintroducing Redox ASEA, you're reintroducing your native redox signaling molecules back to this renovation. And so now the materials can be better utilized, and any repair in that building is being completed.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Can I just add something real quick, Ricardo, to the analogy that you just said? So when you take the liquid molecules, you may have like maybe 10 workers on that house project.
Mm-hmm.
When you take more of the liquid molecules, you increase the workers on that house project. So if you have a severe issue that's going on in your body or in your house, so to speak, the more workers that you have addressing that task, the quicker you will you'll have a renovated or a better home. And if we're to relate it back to the body, the quicker the body will experience health and healing from any specific condition. So the more workers that you have on the task,
Mm-hmm.
the sooner that the task will be resolved. And so in this case, we're looking at the liquid. So the more liquid that you take, the quicker your body will respond to whatever it is that it's handling.
Yeah, awesome.
Yeah, absolutely.
Thanks, Franchesca.
And we can never take too much.
You can never take too much. I've drinking a bottle on several occasions. I've drinking a whole bottle on a day. So
do you feel like Superman afterwards?
yeah, it was like
tackle the world.
yeah. And made me feel like a lot going on in the world.
Mm-hmm.
Like make sure you're fully protected. So
Mm-hmm.
yeah.
Absolutely.
Cool. And Shawn touched on it. There's a really great like a 5-minute video production tour of the production facility, ASEA's production facility, going over how they make these molecules. So we'll share a separate video for everybody to check that out, to see how it goes through the process from saline to these redox signaling molecules. We get it, it's like, wait a minute, how is this go from this to that? But that's what your body does. Your body takes the saline in your cells and turns it into something else. And this company, through an amazing accident, actually, which we'll go into later, figured out how to do that outside the body. So
before we close, I just want to say to our audience that we've, sort of titillated you with all this great information. And the first thing most people do is go Google something and go to Amazon and both. So we invite you to, rather than go to Google, because it's merely a search engine, not a research engine. If you're going to do the Google space thing, then do Google Scholar and put in search terms like redox signaling or reactive oxygen species. Go to pubmed.gov, do the same kind of thing. And I would also really invite you to click on the link below and get in touch with us if you're ready to explore what these molecules can do for you, because we're here to help support your journey in a way that just buying a bottle or a tube of Renew 28, the topical version, is not going to give you a proper experience. Thank you, Ricardo. And we're really here to make sure that you get an optimal experience about what these molecules can do. So we want to thank you for joining us today. And again, encourage you to get back in touch with us with questions on this topic. And we've shared a lot today in a lot of different angles on this. We also want you to let us know if you're ready to get involved with the Redox movement. And then any other random questions that you might have, please reach out to us and click on the link below to get in touch with us. And we really look forward to connecting with you. So thanks for your time.
All right. Thanks, everybody. We got a lot more videos to come this week, sharing our stories, and the weeks to come, sharing more about ASEA Redox, how it's impacted so many people's lives, the business side of it, everything. So stay tuned. It's going to be fun.